The halls of one of the world's most prestigious international gatherings just witnessed something extraordinary as Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene of Monaco graced the Leadership Meeting 2025 with their commanding presence, and what unfolded has everyone talking about the undeniable power couple that continues to redefine modern royalty in ways that few could have anticipated. The Leadership Meeting 2025 brought together some of the most influential figures from across the globe, visionaries and changemakers who shape policy, drive innovation, and influence the future of our interconnected world. Yet when the Prince and Princess of Monaco entered the venue, there was an unmistakable shift in the atmosphere that reminded everyone present why this small principality punches far above its weight on the international stage. Prince Albert II, ruler of the world's second smallest country, has spent decades building Monaco's reputation as a serious player in global affairs, particularly in environmental conservation, ocean protection, and sustainable development, causes that have become synonymous with his reign and personal mission. His appearance at Leadership Meeting 2025 wasn't just ceremonial, it represented Monaco's continued commitment to being at the forefront of conversations that matter, discussions that will shape how we address climate change, economic inequality, technological disruption, and the myriad challenges facing humanity in this rapidly evolving century. Albert has transformed Monaco from being perceived merely as a playground for the wealthy into a respected voice in international diplomacy, a remarkable achievement for a nation that could fit into many cities several times over. Standing beside him, Princess Charlene embodied the grace and strength that has made her one of the most fascinating figures in contemporary royalty, a former Olympic swimmer from South Africa who became a princess in what seemed like a fairy tale but has proven to be a story of resilience, dedication, and quiet determination. Charlene's journey has been scrutinized, analyzed, and sometimes unfairly criticized by media outlets around the world, yet she continues to carry out her duties with a dignity that speaks volumes about her character and commitment to her adopted home. At the Leadership Meeting 2025, observers noted the chemistry between the royal couple, the way they moved through the conference with practiced ease, engaging with world leaders, business magnates, and thought leaders with genuine interest and substantive conversation rather than mere photo opportunities. The significance of their appearance at this particular conference cannot be overstated because Leadership Meeting 2025 represents a crucial moment in global discourse, a time when nations and organizations are grappling with unprecedented challenges that require unprecedented cooperation and innovation. Monaco, under Albert's leadership, has positioned itself as a bridge between different worlds, between old money and new technology, between European tradition and global innovation, between environmental advocacy and economic pragmatism. The Principality has become a laboratory for sustainable luxury, proving that conservation and prosperity need not be mutually exclusive, a message that resonated throughout the conference halls as Albert participated in panel discussions and bilateral meetings that extended far beyond ceremonial pleasantries. Princess Charlene's presence added another dimension to Monaco's diplomatic efforts because she brings her own platform and initiatives, particularly her foundation's work in water safety and drowning prevention, causes born from her own experience as an elite athlete and her understanding of how sports can transform lives and communities. Her work has saved countless lives, particularly among children in vulnerable communities, yet it often receives less attention than her fashion choices or personal struggles, a testament to how media coverage of royal women still gravitates towards superficiality rather than substance. At Leadership Meeting 2025, those who engaged with Charlene discovered a woman of deep conviction and practical vision, someone who understands that real leadership isn't about grand pronouncements but about sustained commitment to making measurable differences in people's lives. The body language between Albert and Charlene throughout the conference spoke to years of partnership navigating the unique pressures of royal life in the modern era, where privacy is an illusion and every gesture becomes subject to interpretation and speculation. They moved as a unit, supporting each other through the exhausting schedule of meetings, presentations, networking sessions, and formal dinners that characterize these major international gatherings. There were moments of genuine warmth captured by photographers, subtle touches and exchanged glances that revealed a connection deeper than the protocol that governs their public appearances, reminding observers that behind the titles and responsibilities are two people who have chosen to face the world together despite the challenges that choice entails. Monaco's strategic importance in global affairs often surprises those unfamiliar with the principality's history and Albert's careful cultivation of international relationships over his 2 decades on the throne. The country hosts major international organizations, convenes important conferences, and leverages its unique position to facilitate dialogue and cooperation on issues ranging from marine conservation to digital innovation. The Leadership Meeting 2025 provided another platform for Albert to advance Monaco's agenda, to remind the world that small nations can have outsized impact when they focus their resources strategically and commit to causes with genuine dedication rather than opportunistic positioning. The fashion choices at such events inevitably draw attention, and Charlene's elegant yet understated style at the conference reflected her evolution as a princess who has found her own voice within the constraints of royal protocol. She has moved away from trying to fit prescribed molds and instead developed a personal aesthetic that honors both her athletic background and her royal status, favoring clean lines and sophisticated simplicity over the fussy extravagance that characterizes some royal wardrobes. This approach mirrors Monaco itself, a place where luxury is refined rather than ostentatious, where quality supersedes quantity, and where substance matters more than show, at least in the principality's carefully cultivated international image. The conversations happening at Leadership Meeting 2025 touched on artificial intelligence, climate adaptation, economic resilience, social cohesion, and dozens of other topics that will define the coming decades, and Monaco's participation in these discussions reflects Albert's understanding that even hereditary rulers must earn their legitimacy through performance and relevance in the modern world. The days when royalty could coast on bloodlines and tradition are long past, if they ever truly existed, and Albert has proven himself a student of contemporary challenges, willing to learn, adapt, and led by example in ways that maintain Monaco's relevance and influence far beyond what its size and population would suggest possible. Charlene's journey from Olympic athlete to princess has been marked by both triumph and struggle, periods of great public visibility, followed by necessary retreats for health and recovery. Yet her appearance at Leadership Meeting 2025 demonstrated a woman who has found her footing and her purpose within a role that she never could have fully anticipated when she said yes to marrying Albert all those years ago. The challenges she has faced, some public and many private, have forged a strength that observers noted in how she carried herself through the demanding schedule of the conference, engaging with confidence and authenticity that comes from having weathered storms and emerged intact on the other side. The Principality of Monaco measures just over 2 square kilometers, smaller than many corporate campuses or university grounds, yet its influence extends far beyond those geographic constraints because Albert has understood that soft power, diplomatic engagement, and strategic focus on specific issues can amplify a nation's voice in ways that military might or economic dominance achieve through different means. Leadership Meeting 2025 provided yet another stage for this approach. Another opportunity to demonstrate that Monaco matters not because of what it controls but because of how it contributes to conversations and causes that transcend national borders and partisan divisions. As the conference continues and its outcomes begin to shape policies and initiatives around the world, the presence of Prince Albert and Princess Charlene will be remembered not as a ceremonial add-on but as a substantive contribution to the dialogue that these gatherings are meant to facilitate. They represent a different model of leadership, one rooted in longevity, consistency, and genuine commitment rather than the transactional nature that characterizes so much modern politics and business. Their appearance reminded everyone present that leadership comes in many forms, that influence cannot always be measured in traditional metrics of power, and that dignity and dedication still matter in a world that often seems to value neither. The royal couple's participation in Leadership Meeting 2025 also highlighted the evolving nature of monarchy in the 21st century, where survival depends on demonstrating value and relevance rather than simply invoking tradition and heritage. Albert and Charlene understand this imperative at a visceral level, living it every day as they balance the weight of history with the demands of the present and the uncertainty of the future. Their presence at this conference, their engagement with its themes and participants, and their continued commitment to using their platform for causes larger than themselves all point to a monarchy that has adapted and evolved while maintaining the continuity and stability that makes Monaco an anchor in a turbulent world. What do you think Prince Albert and Princess Charlene's appearance at Leadership Meeting 2025 reveals about the future of royal influence in global affairs?